Let's get freaky. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's Friday, May 3rd, 2019. It's time for episode number 28 of the News Freaks. I'm Eddie the Ed Man.
And I'm Terry. How is everybody doing today? Ed, we've got a special, this isn't a special edition, but it's kind of a special day for us.
It is a special day.
We've never done a Friday afternoon show, I don't believe.
I don't think we have.
And we are doing it right now, Friday afternoon. This is not, I haven't even had time to crack open my first brewski yet.
Making history again and again here on the show.
Because what we say, you know, we told the listeners on our special edition Sunday, if you haven't listened to that, go check that one out. Again, we want to thank Nicole, special guest Nicole, for joining us on that one.
She was good, huh?
Oh, she was real good. I can't wait to have her back. That was great. If you haven't listened to that one, I did promise that we would have a new show up for you Thursday, but as often happens, you know, I sometimes...
the plans of mice and men.
Sometimes make these plans, and then I get what they call writer's block in the biz. I can't.
Is that what it was, writer's block?
I think so, man. I had a lot of ideas, but I just couldn't properly put them down on paper. So
right.
So we were a couple extra days late.
I thought you got distracted by a lady.
No, well, I mean that too. I mean a little bit of both. I mean we're going to talk about getting distracted by ladies later on in this episode today, so there'll be plenty of time.
I can't wait.
I know, right? Well, anyways, welcome back. It's the end of the week. It's Friday, or as the millennials say, Friday.
Do they say that?
I don't know. So I see some ladies post stuff like that. It's yay, Friday.
Oh, speaking of ladies,
yeah.
I feel that I failed to give enough props to Jess. Super fan Jess out there for giving us the supplies for the challenge. So I just want to say that was a wonderful thing to do, and I want to give her a special shout out.
Yeah, Jess, you're the best. We did appreciate that very much because, like we say, Ed and I together combined, that would have taken us probably 6 months to get the supplies for that. It did, and we still didn't even get them. But speaking of that, I'm glad you brought that up because I'm going to start our little intro segment with that challenge that we did on Sunday. Unfortunately, Edman, you and Nicole, as good an effort as you did have on the baked bean challenge with the chopsticks, unfortunately, it was all for naught.
I thought that there might be a problem with the challenge when I broke the record.
On your first attempt. Yeah, Cherry Yositaki's PR people contacted me and they said, we heard what you tried to pull, that stunt on the News Freaks, and it's not going to fly here. Apparently we were supposed to go one bean at a time on that. One baked bean with the chopsticks. So
at least we got someone to talk to us.
Yeah, I know. That's great. In fact, I was telling you this. I did reach out to David Rush, who holds the other record on Twitter.
Back?
Unfortunately, he did not. I
wrote him busy.
I wrote him a nice little message on Twitter telling him that we had tried his eating kernels of corn challenge with toothpicks, that he is the Guinness world record holder in. Told him that we completed that with predictably stellar results. And I said, maybe you could make time for a phone call for the News Freaks sometime this week. Just a quick few minutes. And I have not heard back as of yet. But fear not. I don't think he's logged into his Twitter since then because he hasn't had a post since before I wrote that to him.
You know, once you break a world record, you know, people change.
Yeah, but I don't know. He doesn't have that many followers. He only has like 160 followers. We're catching up to him on the old Twitter follower list. But anyways, so unfortunately, as good an effort as you two had, because you blew me out of the water, but that will not stand. We will have to go back and try that one again at a later date, maybe, hopefully not 6 months down the road. But now that we know what we're getting into, I think we could make a decent run.
I think our way of doing the challenge was more fun.
It was fun. I mean, shoveling those piles of beans in there,
eating baked beans with chopsticks.
If you want to get your eyes on that, we did post a little YouTube video of that event, so that you could kind of check that out if you want.
The thing is, the studio here is pretty small, so you're just seeing us basically from the neck down on some of us.
Yeah, actually, that's actually one of the best angles of me is from the neck down.
Well, you know how they say you got a face for a radio.
Yeah. That's not true, actually. Anybody listening out there, I'm quite the handsome devil. I can't speak for Edman, but anyways, guys, I did want to get that little bit of house cleaning out of the way. Today, Friday, May 3rd. Tomorrow, Saturday, May 4th. A big day for Star Wars fans. May the 4th be with you, right?
Yeah.
Well, sad news from the Star Wars family, Edman. I don't know if you heard about this.
Oh, Chewbacca died.
He did. Actor Peter Mayhew, his family announced that he passed away this past Tuesday, April 30th.
Which is amazing because, well, you haven't seen Star Wars yet,
Correct.
so I don't want to.
Right.
I don't want to, give you any hints. But let's just say the director of these movies keeps choosing wrong.
Really?
Yeah, that'll be enough.
Interesting. Keeps choosing wrong. Yeah. Were you saying Mr. Mayhew was not a good Chewbacca?
I can't.
You can't elaborate.
I can't elaborate.
Okay. Well,
I don't want to give you any spoilers before we see it. But I think he was a great Chewbacca.
Well, anyways, I know that Star Wars fans. Ed, is that your stomach?
That's my Chewbacca.
That was your Chewbacca. Okay.
I did just have some chicken cilantro.
Okay. Yeah, I can smell it.
There.
Smelled great. I would have loved to have been offered a few spoonfuls, but that did not happen either. I had my chopsticks at the ready trying to get some of that, but not.
Next time, don't beat me at one of the challenges.
Did not work. One more thing I wanted to wish you. A happy belated May Day. We passed May Day on May 1st. Did you see the maypole I put out front?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, nobody's been using it. They've been trying to play games of tetherball around it. Is that what that's called?
Every
Tetherball?
day in May Day?
No, it's just the first day, May Day, where we celebrate the fact that we can earn wages and only work 8-hour days. I mean, that's laughable for us. We work 3 or 4 hour days, but most people have to work full 8-hour work days. But that's kind of what May Day represents. They fought for better working conditions, the 8-hour, 40-hour work week, 8-hour day, 40-hour work week, and that's celebratory. We don't have to be killing ourselves 80 to 100 hours a week anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, were they forced to do that before?
I think they were. Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, it is too bad. But anyways, guys, if you're traveling here in our fair city, check out the maypole out there. I don't know what you do with a maypole. I think you dance around it if you want. I mean, that's what I think people do. They put ribbons on it and they dance around it.
I feel that I'm not getting the full story on all of these events.
Listen, I had too much to talk about today.
May Day exists so that we don't have to work 40 hours
May Day
and put a pole outside to dance around.
May Day is a celebration. It's in honor of them fighting for better working conditions and hours. I believe that's what I took from it. They really don't even know what it's for, but that's what I took from it.
Right.
And people can
and any reason for a party, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. It's May Day. It's the 1st of May. Spring is here. Like, everybody's happy, good mood. Put on your best dress and the Snapchat flower filter
and dance around a pole.
And dance around a pole. Yeah. I had too much going on with this episode to be worried about details on the front half. I had too many details to talk about on the back half. This intro is not over. We have a few more things to cover. Okay. Do want to cover Game of Thrones is in full swing. Its last final season here. Have you been watching the final season?
Yes.
So episode 3 just happened last Sunday. That was the Battle of Winterfell.
Yeah.
It's the longest ever episode and the biggest ever battle sequence.
I was watching it forever.
Yeah, 82 minutes long that one was.
They couldn't put that over.
Well, I think from what I hear, the last 3 episodes, because there's only 3 left, it's going to end on May 19th.
It's not a full season.
No, this is May 19th will be the final episode.
I thought they're
trying to make every episode as if it's a movie at this point.
I thought they were making that thing pretty early. I was like, winter came early this season. It didn't come late.
Right.
So it's only because they just have a few left.
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't want to alienate pretty much like all of our listeners, but I was a lot of videos and clips were coming across my social media where I was seeing a bunch of nerds and geeks cheering ecstatically because I saw a knife fall down and this girl grabbed it and stabbed this weird-looking...
That's my favorite character. And I liked her before.
Her name is Arya?
Arya
is that correct?
Yeah, she's great.
She's just like a little demented girl. She looks violent.
Great. She's violent. smiling. I don't know if she's demented.
Okay. Well, anyways, I saw all these nerds cheering as if they just won the Super Bowl.
It was.
This was a big
in nerd
moment.
Terms,
huh?
It was basically throwing a. What's the longest touchdown you can throw?
Oh yeah, I think we talked about that on our Super Bowl episode. I believe that in the Super Bowl it was like a 90-something yard pass.
Yeah, that's
Super
about
Bowl.
the equivalent.
Wow. So they were. I mean, were you at home watching it, going, "Yes, Aria, you did it"?
I don't want my girlfriend to think I'm a dork. She's the one who actually made me do this. But inside, I was.
You were really happy.
Glowing, man.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
Like, hey, go, girl.
And I'm sure everybody at home was too. Again, I'm in the minority here. I know I am. I got to take my lumps on this one. I don't get it. Maybe I can add this to the whiteboard too after I watch all the Star Wars movies, all the Captain America Marvel movies, and then I can add Game of Thrones on the list too. That's going to be a lot of hours of viewing for me.
As long as you keep writing the show.
Yeah, well, I'm going to try not to run out of ideas here. But anyways, May 19th, like I said, that will be the final episode of the season and the series. It's like 8 seasons, so that was like close to a decade. It was actually more than a decade because they took time off. They took quite a bit of time off between this season and last, right?
Oh yeah, I've switched pets and girlfriends and everything since this started.
Yeah, so I get why these people are whipped up into a fervor here, because it has been a long time coming. They just are ready to erupt at anything. So I guess episode 4, the next episode's going to be this Sunday, and people will be blowing up HBO and all that as well this time, right?
Yeah.
They're actually going to, HBO already has plans for a spinoff, a prequel.
Oh, good.
To this, so
yeah, because I always
Game of Thrones fans can take heart. There will be more action to come.
Yeah, until recently, I was like, man, tell me that story. The old story sounded better than the new one I'm watching here. I was like, this new one's boring.
Right.
So hear the
so that'll be here. Boy, that George, what's his name? George R.R. Martin. Is that how you say it? Is that his name?
I don't know.
The author of the Game of Thrones series. I don't even know if that's the. So, anyways,
I hear he hasn't even finished the books.
Yeah, he hasn't. That the books are like, there's way more books than they could fit into the series. I mean, there's more material that they haven't covered yet.
So did they just copy the books up to a certain point and then they just made up their own stuff?
You got me, man. I don't know if he's a consultant on this thing or what, but he must be rolling in it at this point. I have to think he's like sitting pretty.
I mean, you don't know. They might have been like, "Hey, we want to make Game of Thrones. Will you take like $250 or something?" And
yeah, but
like, whatever.
Now, I mean, the merchandising and all that. I'm sure he's doing okay.
The different book editions.
Yeah,
dragon skin edition.
Well, anyways, for all of you geeks and nerds and your fandom, I am happy to see people happy and excited about something, just positive about anything.
The dragon skin edition is not a bad idea. I should talk to somebody about that.
Man, put it on the whiteboard, man. We got another one. And speaking of nerds and geeks and fandom, we're going to give one last update here in the intro segment. Jeopardy James Holzhauer. We got to update him, don't we? From our last episode.
You're the first person I heard about this guy from. And since then, I've seen this guy all over the place.
He's still doing it, man. He won again last night, which was Thursday. He won his 21st straight episode in a row. He earned $80,615 last night, bringing his total to $1.606 million.
Cool.
He is now the second all-time longest streak. He passed David Madden a few days ago, who won 19 straight games in 2005, and last night he got by Julia Collins, who had won 20 straight in 2014.
Everyone has their own path to $1 million. Some people work hard their entire life, and some people go on the game show.
But I'll tell you what, that to me is working hard all of your life to amass that knowledge and to retain it. I think there is skill involved in that.
Well, there definitely is.
That's a lifetime of working and experience.
If he did it on purpose. Mm-hmm. But I mean, if he's just like somebody just stores random facts in his head.
I mean, I think he did it on purpose. So he didn't come without a close call though. On Monday night, his 18th show.
Yeah.
It came down to he and this guy at the end, and it was really tight to Final Jeopardy. And the guy got to go first because he was slightly behind him, and he made a pretty good wager, and he got the answer right. And James Holzhauer also had to get it right and bet barely enough. He won his 18th show by $18 on Monday. He beat the guy by $18. That's crazy. So that was some
but
smart
I wonder
wagering.
if it was a case of, when I was a kid, I used to play video games and I was so good at them that in order to get other people to play with me, I'd have to let them,
and that's who knows? Maybe he was toying with this guy.
He might have just been playing a game.
But to put this in perspective here, okay, he has won $1,608,627,000. Julia Collins, who won those 20 straight games in 2014, her total for the entire run was $494,767. Ken Jennings, that's his next stop, right? Ken Jennings had the 74 straight shows we talked about.
Jennings
he won about $2.5 million, a little more than that.
Right.
Ken Jennings per episode, his average winnings was $34,064.
Yeah.
Jeopardy James here is averaging $76,601 an episode.
Impressive.
It's really impressive. So like you said, I'm glad that I mentioned that a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, whenever our last full-length episode was.
You were ahead of the curve.
I thought something was going to go on. It was a perfect storm because, Alex Trebek, when he made his announcement that he was sick, said we have some special things coming this summer.
You were surfing the wave.
Yeah, I was on it. Speaking of being on it, guys, we've appreciated the feedback and all the texts and calls we've been getting. Want you to keep that coming for us. The good, the bad, the ugly. Let us hear it. Text us at 904-300-2475. Catch us at our Twitter at NewsFreaksPod. TheNewsFreaks.com, of course, is our website, and on Facebook at The News Freaks. There was a Twitter thing going on the other day, Ed, involving us.
We got
tagged in something.
We were involved in a tweet storm?
Yeah, a little bit of a tweet storm. A young lady that I had, people will ask for some podcast recommendations once in a while, and I will go on there and I will recommend us. I'll do a little self-marketing.
Good choice.
Yeah, and I say, give us a try. Why not? And most of the time, the people that I write that to will either like or comment. I'm like, we're going to check it out. We're going to do this. Well, this young lady was not happy to be bombarded with people promoting their own podcast, and she tagged a bunch of us podcasts in her note saying that we basically wasted her time and we were tooting our own horn. So anyways, I commented back. I said, I apologize. I just thought, we'd throw our hat in the ring for you to consider. It won't happen again. I said, good luck in your search. And a lot of the other podcasters got behind us and were liking our comment and really laying into this girl for being so defensive.
Well, you're being very nice. You didn't lay into her.
I didn't lay into her at all.
And she did
actually
ask for recommendations.
She did. And
it's not like she was forced to listen to every single podcast.
She wasn't forced to listen to any of them. That was the thing.
Wasting her time.
Yeah, I
by
know.
What? Like going and looking at the responses?
I felt kind of bad. But the other replies from the other podcast weren't as nice as ours.
No, we're nice guys.
We are nice guys. We try to keep it classy. You know what? We're here to put a smile on your face. Hopefully, kill a little time, take you away from whatever doldrums you might be in. Right?
That's right. You know what? If somebody else asks for a recommendation, I think I'm still going to recommend this show.
Oh, I'm still doing it. I'm not stopping. I'm going for it. All right, Ed, man, that's going to bring us out of a very long intro today.
Oh, man, I can't believe that lady, man.
Off the air here, I'll let you look at her Twitter profile, and you can see she kind of does have a little bit of a self-entitled look to her. If I had to be honest, she's not going to listen to this anyways. She said she already said it. She said, in fact, she said these podcasts may be very good, but unfortunately, I won't know because I didn't like that you were tooting your own horn.
Well, at least she said that we may be very good.
She did say they may be okay or something to that effect. So she didn't totally dismiss us as being crap. She did dismiss one of the responders as being crap. Apparently, he was like pounding his chest a little too much.
Really?
Yeah. Man, I didn't read what this and this podcaster wrote her back like 4 or 5 times. Like he couldn't get over it apparently. So it was a fun little thing to get involved in.
I wonder if I could like become her friend.
Yeah.
And then in a month, I'll say, hey, you remember a while back when you asked for podcast? Here's a great one, The News Freaks.
So you're just going to be a slow burn. You're going to do a nice slow burn.
They call that sliding into the DMs?
Yes, it is. It is called sliding into the DMs.
Slide into her DMs?
We're going to talk about that a little bit later, too.
By the news reads.
Yeah, unreal. So anyways, Ed, man, we're moving on to our big story today.
All right.
Yeah, we're going to call this big story Movie Madness.
Movie Madness.
Because I want to, this past week, it saw 3 movies actually made huge headlines across social media world as well as just
one of
in
them
general.
has got to be Endgame, right?
And that's the one we're going to start with.
Seen that
we're going to start with it. Avengers Endgame. I mean, unreal, this movie. First of all, getting stellar reviews from both audiences and critics alike on Rotten Tomatoes audiences with more than 25,000 reviews. It's at a 90% among audiences.
Wow, that's amazing
and
for that many reviews.
Critics, over 420 reviews, and it's at 95% with the critics.
Now, I feel like sometimes critics are jumping on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
Because I find that a lot of times, and even great critics, like back in the day, Siskel and Ebert,
right.
when a movie was coming out that they were sure was going to be popular, I feel like they would boost it up a little bit.
Right.
And then sometimes it would bomb, and they'd be looking like they liked a bad movie.
Yep. No, this is not the case here. This movie is certified fresh across all fronts. In the synopsis there, Rotten Tomatoes said, quote, exciting, entertaining, and emotionally impactful, Avengers Endgame does whatever it takes to deliver a satisfying finale to Marvel's epic Infinity Saga.
Nice.
That's a really nice write-up. That makes me want to see it. And again, I'm not a big comic Marvel guy here, but it does seem like it's entertaining. And everybody I've talked to said it was really well done. The diehard, longtime fans of this series have said it was amazing.
Well, I saw the first one, and I thought it was pretty amazing. But I would like to point something out here, since we're talking about this movie, which is that in the comic book version, Thanos was in love with death. And so to impress her, he fulfilled her wish to kill half the life in the universe. But in the movie, there's no romance with the entity of death. And so he's killed half the people in the universe. And people are saying things like, well, if he has unlimited power, he could have doubled the resources and didn't really have to kill everybody. So his motivation in the comic it made sense with his actions, but now in the movie, it's like, well, he didn't really have to kill everybody.
Interesting. Well, maybe that is addressed in this movie. Who knows?
Yeah. Maybe it'll turn out he is trying to please death after all.
Who knows? Well, anyways, the film opened last weekend, so that would have been, the 25th or the 26th. Shattered the record for biggest opening weekend with an estimated $350 million in domestic ticket sales.
Yeah.
And it also did $1.2 billion worldwide.
That's insanity.
It's insane. The old record was set by actually last year's installment, Infinity War.
Really?
That made $257.7 million. Third on the list was 2015 Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
And they say sequels never do.
I know, right? Apparently, they're doing okay.
That and Street Fighter 2, both better than their.
I guess people
the exceptions to the rule.
I guess people like this stuff. And just last weekend, this movie made more than blockbusters such as Aquaman, The Dark Knight Rises, Skyfall, and made in their entire theatrical runs.
Wow.
That's unreal. And then again, they're expecting more of the same this weekend.
Really?
I mean, they're expecting another probably.
Oh, from that movie.
Yeah, from.
I thought they were coming out with another hit.
Imagine that. No, but some theaters actually stayed open last weekend for 72 hours straight. They did the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and they didn't close.
You got to make it while people are still hot.
I mean, there was one owner. I don't know where I read this. And maybe a theater owner in Kansas City or something said, "I've never seen a sold out Saturday morning 7 a.m. show."
Well, everybody wants to get in before it's spoiled by some random clickbait thing.
I also heard, and I don't know if this is true, some diehard fans can tell me, I think after this weekend, the ban is lifted on spoilers. I think if you haven't seen it by this weekend, I think, you know what, too bad, too sad, I think. Because
every time I see something with his purple face and I turn away, I don't read the words, I'm like.
So the movie opened in 4,662 theaters across the United States and Canada. And at a robust runtime of 161 minutes, I I thought we had said that it was going to be about 3 hours, so they did cut it back just a little bit.
Good.
Yeah, 161 minutes is still almost 3 hours. It's just 19 minutes shy, but still.
But movies are way too long nowadays. Game of Thrones, we were talking about that earlier. I mean, that could have been told like in a season.
Yeah,
right?
you were telling me that.
If they compressed
but you know what? They really want these people. I think if you tell it in a season, you're not going to have the reaction you have to Arya Stark.
I'm not complaining.
People are invested
right.
so heavily in this character development here. Well, Disney is set for a record-breaking year here at the box office. Do you know they're also releasing this year? Listen to these. Aladdin, the live-action Aladdin.
I saw some of the previews for that.
Toy Story 2. The Lion King.
Wait, it can't be number 2. They've had 3 of them.
Toy Story 4, rather.
4, okay.
Yeah, Frozen 2 and Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. They're releasing all of those in the coming months here.
Some of those might be good.
I mean, I would think they're going to have, by the end of the year, they estimate 40 to 45% of the box office revenue share.
Yeah.
Disney will have.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy.
It
Without Disney, I mean, the whole movie industry might just be bottoms up here. Also, good weekend for... go ahead.
Do you think they'll break Disney up? Do you think they'll say Disney's too big and break Disney up into smaller companies?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I mean,
if they do that, let's you and me open up a production house.
That'd be great.
That
would be great. I can't wait. Maybe we'll start with our animated animated cartoon show we've been working on. But a great weekend for Coca-Cola, popcorn, and hot dogs, and it's going to be more of the same, like I said, this weekend. So it's obviously going to set the record for worldwide gross, you would think. The record belongs to 2009's Avatar. That pulled in $2.78 billion. Second on the list was 1997's Titanic with $2.187 billion.
Movies did tremendous.
They did, but I mean, you got to think their Avengers Endgame is already at 1.2 billion.
Yeah.
So how's it not going to catch these? It might. I mean, it could peter off, but I doubt it.
You know, a News Freaks cartoon would actually be a good idea. I think maybe, though, it might not be the most exciting thing. I feel like most of the episodes will consist of me driving around town aimlessly looking for you.
In seedy bars and dive establishments.
It's a mystery every week.
It is a mystery every week. In fact, I came back into the studio yesterday, which was Thursday, and Headman said, "What happened? You just bounced on me Wednesday night." He thought we were going to be doing the show on Wednesday night, and I got called away.
I don't know why I thought that.
Duty called.
I mean, it might have been because you said we're going to do
it on
the
show. Yeah. Sometimes my mouth gets ahead of my brain, and I say some things that don't actually hold true. But it's not done out of malice. I just want you to know that.
That's important.
It is important. So anyways, Edman, the next movie I wanted to talk about is one that's opening up this weekend. It may have opened up in some theaters yesterday, and it definitely will be opening today. That's this new Seth Rogen, Charlize Theron rom-com Long Shot. You seen anything about this?
Refresh.
Seth Rogen.
I know that name is famous.
He's a comic. He was in Pineapple Express, Knocked Up. He's kind of a schlubby looking kind of guy, a regular everyman.
Yeah.
He does a lot of those comedies. Zach and Miri make a porno. And
yeah, he's funny.
Yeah, he's a funny guy, right? The early reviews on this one have been pretty solid too. It's got about an 85% on Rotten Tomatoes from a little over 120 critics so far. Now, from what I gather, the plot line's going to revolve around Seth Rogen's character, who's a journalist, coming to know Charlize Theron's character. She's making a presidential run in this one. And he knows her because she used to be his babysitter and he used to have a crush on her. But now she's going to hire him to write, I guess, for her campaign or something like that.
A weird setup.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen the movie yet, obviously. But I'm going to take a stab at a little bit of a spoiler and say at the end, the unkempt Seth Rogen character is going to nail the very attractive, worldly Charlize Theron character.
They wouldn't do that. I think they're going to show that a girl don't need no man, and she'll won't do that.
Possibly. Well, Hollywood has always enjoyed turning.
It's a rom-com, but come on, it's the same thing over and over. They got to do something different.
Hollywood has always enjoyed turning losers into lovers. We know that, right, Ed? Some people on social media have expressed disgust and incredulity at how and why this keeps happening.
Oh no, it happens in real life all the time.
Does it happen in real life? Yeah? The poor schlubby guy. I mean, if he has a lot of money, it happens.
Tara, look at some of the girls we've got. We don't deserve them.
Yeah, we have.
We really don't.
We have gone up in class a few times. I will say that. Seth Rogen, he's played that character a few times. Knocked Up with Katherine Heigl, where he has the one night stand with her. She was way out of his league in that movie. Kevin James in Hitch. I remember he dated a much more attractive lady. Woody Allen's been doing it his whole life, in real life and on screen, right? He writes himself that character for like the last 3 decades. But yeah, people online were kind of saying, "Oh man, this is they always want to make sure the guy. Well, what about the unattractive woman? It can never be cast in that role." That's not true. There's been plenty of movies where they had that kind of ugly duckling kind of theme with the ladies. Few that I knew thought of off my head. Never Been Kissed. She's All That. Shallow Hal.
Oh, yeah.
The Duff. You know what the Duff stands for? That came out a few years ago. Designated Ugly Fat Friends.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, I did hear a lot of women were voicing, well, here we go. Another movie where guys have to wield their superiority. They can get any woman they want. This guy would never be able to get a woman like this. And I was wondering about your thoughts. You did say that, yes, it does happen in real life.
Yeah, it happens in real life all the time. Also, is that wielding superiority to get a good-looking lady?
Yeah, women don't like it. Women don't like, and I don't say this as any offense at all. I'm a 41-year-old guy. I will typically date women in their late 20s, early 30s. I feel like I have more in common with them. I've never had kids, never been married, so maybe that's part of the reason. But women my age tend to look down on me for that, for dating younger women like that.
I don't know why they would do that. Now, on the other hand, only date. You may know this, only date attractive women.
Yes.
So I could see somebody being upset by that. But
that shallow, narcissistic, is it just.
Well, I had a friend once and said, I'll only date rich people. And I said to her,
right.
Why is that? And she goes, well, and she didn't say these exact words, but basically you might get a good one, you might get a bad one. At least they'll have money.
And you know what? I'm going to be totally honest. I cannot fault any person that does that. I really can't.
If I was a woman, yep. I would only date rich people.
Yeah.
I would
honestly.
Never,
you don't want to be with
I'd be the most shallow
losers trying to make ends meet.
I'd be a total gold digger.
Yeah, what the? Yeah. I ain't saying Ed's a gold digger.
But what I find, though, is that a lot of women are not shallow.
They're not.
And that's why
they are not.
People who are not the best looking can date these very nice looking girls, but I don't think that's exerting power.
Women are definitely the fairer sex in that regard.
In fact, the movie, this guy, Seth Rogen, he usually plays a schlub, right? So, I mean,
I've seen a preview, and he actually comes dressed to this event in like a windbreaker type suit. He looks kind of unkempt, so he doesn't look very appealing.
Don't they usually make the men look like dummies in this thing? I don't know if it's...
That's what I mean. They do. They make them look... But I guess this is what they're saying. They're saying it's so unrealistic. This guy's going to be with a beautiful woman like Charlize Theron.
Now, if there are any good-looking girls out there listening, just think about the guys you've dated, and you'll see immediately that this story is not impossible.
But here's the kicker to wrap this movie up here. From what I've read from comments on... I went and watched the preview on YouTube earlier today, and from what I read, both from guys and girls, the response has been very positive. They say this is really well done. It's got heart, it's got charm, it's got a lot of great jokes, clever writing. So I mean, maybe they did pull something like this off.
I wonder if that lady who got mad at the people who offered her a podcast was one of the complainers.
You know what? I'm going to be honest. Know what I'm going to do? Because I've already built a little rapport with her. I think I'm going to write her.
What did you think about this movie, lady?
Yeah, I'm going to tweet her. I said, we were talking about the movie Long Shot, and I want to know what your thoughts are on it. That would be a fun little experiment. I bet you she writes me back, too. Unlike that loser, David Rush. I'm only kidding. David Rush, if you're out there, we still want to talk kernels of corn and toothpicks.
And also try this little tactic on her. Tell her not to listen to the show.
Yeah, please. If, whatever you do, I want your feedback on this, but I don't want you to listen.
That way she doesn't think we're tooting our own horn.
Please do not listen to episode 28 in particular. That's the one where we mention you and I say you look like you may be self-entitled. All right, Ed, moving on to our last movie in our Movie Madness segment here. The new trailer came out, yesterday, a few days ago, for the new Sonic the Hedgehog movie. coming out November 8th.
Yeah, I saw the preview for
and
that
predictably,
also.
fans were less than pleased.
Well, Sonic looks horrific.
He had human teeth. I noticed that.
Yeah, he's supposed to be a cute-looking fuzzball with
he's
an
got
attitude.
He's got like a human body features. It's really crazy. And Jim Carrey is going to play Dr. Robotnik in that one.
You know what really chaps my hide about this? Jim Carrey is wearing this. I have a jacket. It's a nice-looking overcoat or whatever, and inside of it, my favorite feature, it's got this red liner, right? And it's really cool. He's wearing the same damn jacket. Now, anytime someone sees it, they're like, oh, hey, it's Dr. Robotnik. It's annoying.
Well, they haven't said it yet, Ed, man. The comments on YouTube, this YouTube preview, okay, it's got 277,000 likes, which isn't too bad, but it's got 463,000 dislikes. Okay, some of the comments that I was just laughing at, they said, oh, April Fool's was last month. This looks like a movie you'd get out of the Walmart bin. They were really ripping this thing up. So, just this morning, as I was just kind of, browsing, looking at my usual news stuff, the director of this movie said, fans, we've heard you and we are going to fix this issue.
What?
They are going to go and actually rehash this Sonic because of the fans' outcry.
Good for them, first of all, and not being arrogant about it, because I've seen so many movie producers, directors, whatever, where movie houses,
right,
where the fans complain and then they will ignore them, or they will berate the fans.
Right, they make them feel like, listen, these were the people that kept you afloat for the last 10, 20 years.
Absolutely. I've never seen it like it is now. I blame Trump for this.
You do?
Yeah. The people, they follow whoever is the head of the country subconsciously. Right. And now Trump is a smash mouth, kind of a guy. And so these guys are like, hey, you guys, like Ryan Johnson, director of Last Jedi, you man babies. He calls the fans man babies.
Yeah. These are the people that pay your...
Exactly.
They've put you in this mansion and given you the good life that you wanted, and you can't treat them like that.
As far as Sonic goes, they already have a great in-game video game model. He's in 3D already.
Right.
Why did they have to make another one?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's what the fans want to see.
Yeah.
Classic Sonic.
So anyways, I was with you. I thought this was really laud-worthy for this director to just take his lumps and say, you know what, we've listened. This is clearly not gonna go well for us if we keep it this way.
And you know what they ought to do? With that many thumbs down, now let's think about this. If that many people see the movie,
right,
they'll probably have a blockbuster on their hands. So if they put it out there and it's a fan-chosen design,
right,
they'll probably really kill with that.
So I think it was a good move on their part. I'm interested to see the next preview that they release and see if that doesn't change things in the hearts and minds of these Sonic fans. All right, Ed Man, off we go to news thing number one.
News thing number one.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about a little bit of online dating.
Oh, good.
In this first segment.
Goes with the rest of the show.
Something near and dear to our hearts. Well, mine anyways. Anyways, it's a $3 billion a year industry here in the United States. Sites such as...
It's like 3 Endgames.
I know, right? I'm going to rattle off a couple of these sites, see if you've heard of any of these, Ed. I know you haven't done much, if any, online dating.
No.
Yeah, I used to be quite a veteran. I scaled back in my older age. I just don't have the energy for it anymore. It takes a lot of energy. It really is. It's time consuming and tiring.
Is it really?
Yeah, it really is.
But it's supposed to be easy. It's online.
It's not. You're just juggling a lot of conversations. You got to remember who said what.
Yeah.
What night you're going out with this one. I had to hire a personal assistant to keep track of my my dates. It just was.
And maybe date her.
I mean, I was losing money on the dates and I was losing money on the personal assistant. It just wasn't equaling out.
Not economically beneficial.
It really wasn't. Sites such as Plenty of Fish,
heard of that? Yeah.
Match.com, right? OK Cupid, Tinder, Bumble, Farmers Only, Christian Mingle, Our Time. That's the site for people 50 and older. I'm really killing it on that site. I'm cleaning up over there, Ed.
What's it called?
Our Time.
Our Time.
Yeah. OUR Time. Yeah, man.
Give that one a
shot. Get a profile, man. I can't tell you how many messages I get on that
but
thing.
I thought you said earlier you only dated girls that are under a certain age.
I know, but it's still nice to get some compliments once in a while.
Maybe
I'm only human.
Maybe you'll run into somebody else who's dating above 30.
They could have daughters as well. Some of these young ladies. Right. Also, there's also eHarmony, Black People Meet, Speed Date, J Date. That's for Jewish singles. Elite singles. That's for the gold diggers that we talked about.
I got to get on that one.
Yeah. And then, of course, Grindr for gay guys looking for love online as well. They're not actually looking for love in that site, from what I hear. That site is more of a hookup site.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah. Oh. But I do think there are sites out there for people who are actually looking for a soulmate connection.
Born wrong, I guess.
Although Tinder and Bumble kind of have that same kind of reputation for straight people as well.
Man, oh yeah?
Yeah, it's kind of a hookup. I mean, there are people looking for love on those sites.
Not that I care, you know.
Yeah. But Terry, off the air, can you just give me a little more information?
I'm just curious. How do you spell that? Bumblebee?
Is that like the Bumblebee, or is it something clever and witty? Well, anyways, the list goes on and on. There's hundreds of these sites out there for people to fall in love. Well, I was not aware of this, but Facebook is starting to roll out a dating service.
Oh, good. I'm already on that.
Did you know this?
Yeah.
They're rolling it out in a bunch of countries: Mexico, Canada, Argentina, Colombia, just to name a few. At this past Tuesday's annual F8 developer conference, I guess that's Facebook's annual social media gathering. Mark Zuckerberg. F8, yeah. I don't know what that means really.
The OO together kind of form an infinity symbol.
Well, possibly.
I don't know.
But anyways, they announced a new feature that's going to be available to its dating users on Facebook apps called Secret Crush. Now, Ed, get this. We are soon going to be able to select up to 9 of our Facebook friends that we would like to express a romantic interest in.
For some reason, Secret Crush to me sounds like a puzzle game.
It sounds like Candy Crush. Yeah. But anyways, here's how this thing works. If somebody adds you to their Secret Crush list, Facebook's going to send you a notification that says a friend added you as a Secret Crush.
Nice.
If you pick the same person, Facebook's going to match you together and reveal your names as you two picked each other.
That's
from
terrific.
your friend list.
You know what is going to happen?
Yeah.
My girlfriend's going to list me on there.
Oh, man. Come on. But if you don't list her, here's the thing. If the feelings are only one-sided, Edman, the person's identity will remain a secret. So she will not be able to see. You could just play dumb like, oh, I didn't see any Secret Crush app. I don't even know how to get it on there.
Yeah, well, they start out the reviews as being anonymous, too. And then
yeah, this is true. So now here's what I was thinking, though. I mean, yes, I guess this is a little bit of liquid courage online, if I may say it that way. Because really, if I was interested in somebody I was friends with on Facebook, I might just slide into their DMs, as you were mentioning earlier, and say, "Hey, would you like to go get a coffee or an adult beverage sometime?" Right. So yeah, that's what they're going to try to do now. I mean, what could go wrong with this thing, right, Ed?
Probably a lot.
A lot. I think a lot could go wrong with this. You're going to have probably a lot of people in relationships willing to risk it all for that one shot. Well, you know what? I'm just messing around here. Let me just put it. And then all of a sudden she bops up there, or he bops up, that you guys matched. Yeah, now the attraction was not in your head. It was not imagined.
And never knowing, never even thinking the other person would feel the same way.
Exactly. You just did it on a lark, on a whim, and here she is. And now, oh God, now what do I do? Now I know she feels the same way.
Home wrecking.
We're going to be gold bricking and home wrecking. I can see a lot of old guys crushing on these 20-somethings and just see, and there, you know what else I thought about? There's probably a high likelihood of people pranking or bullying someone with this.
True.
Right? You just kind of say, oh, I've got a crush, or you do as if it's not bad enough for the catfish profiles. We talked about catfishing on this show before, but you could have a profile and pop that on there and be an attractive person's picture and say, oh, I matched you, and start talking to them. And so there's the possibility of that going wrong. Anyways, Secret Crush.
Let me know when it rolls out so I can just check everybody.
Right. Well, you only get 9, Ed.
Only 9? It's like the top 8 from MySpace.
From MySpace, yeah. Secret Crush is rolling out in 14 new countries across Asia and South America starting this week. And so it already started. Depending on feedback and results, we may see it here in the States in the not too distant future. This is weird because obviously everybody knows Mark Zuckerberg was the founder of Facebook. He had sort of a hot or not type program while he was at Harvard. This is how this whole Facebook thing started. It was actually called Face Mash. Face Mash, where they put 2 pics side by side. So they put my pic next to yours, and the people at home, if our cards came up, they would vote between the two of us who they thought was more attractive.
Oh my God.
And then you'd get ratings based on how many battles you won in that face match.
The winner between us is whoever shaves first. Huh?
This is true. We've got the facial hair thing going on. You know, I read an article too recently. I don't have it on the News Freak here, but they did say something about men's beards having more germs than dogs' fur.
What?
Yeah.
Oh no.
I mean, I try to wash and moisturize mine, so that's all I can do, right?
Now, I mean, I don't know, but I could be wrong about this. But I would reckon. Okay, now think about this.
I would reckon, man. Are you on FarmersOnly.com?
Yeah.
Are you on there after all?
Think about this. The hair is all in the places that are basically kind of that we have that are need to be protected in the body.
Right.
So like germs can enter through your nose, so we have hair there.
Yes.
It can enter through your mouth, so we have hair around.
Yeah.
So enter through your ears, the holes in our body, so we have hair there. I would think that it would catch germs and protect the host.
Very interesting
The
thought.
wearer of the beard.
I didn't think about it that way. I didn't read too much in that article because, as you know, I've had a beard for probably the last decade, maybe close to a decade. I started growing a beard in my 30s, so I've always worn a beard, whether it be short, clean shaven or bushy. But
this is why I don't shave my ear hair. It's like a stalk of broccoli just sticking out of my ear there, but it keeps me safe.
But see, Ed,
aesthetically not pleasing to the viewer.
I have a short. See, you have long hair, which will cover something like that. I have shorter hair, so I can't let my ear hair.
Yeah, you're screwed.
Burst out. I have to actually take care of that.
And because I have double protection, you don't have any protection. A bee could just fly, boom, right in your ear.
Man, that would be horrible.
Or a moth or something.
Bee flying in my hair.
Yeah, grow your hair out.
Well, I'll tell you what. If they do roll this out, this secret crush here, I'm going to not bring up that last news story. Tell women, do you like my beard? Because there's a lot of germs in there. I'm going to leave that one out. And also, I'm going to start right now. I've got like almost 1,200 Facebook friends. I'm going to start going through my friends and start doing some preemptive striking here.
Well, you only have 9, so you better choose wisely.
All right, Ed, man. Time for your favorite segment and the listeners' favorite segment as well. Game time.
Random. Oh, of course. Game time.
You thought we were done already?
No,
we're not done.
Well, you said favorite segment.
This show has been a little choppy. We've had a few interruptions here this afternoon.
We're still trucking.
We're soldiering on.
Soldiering on.
So we're going to do game time. And that last story we just did about the Facebook secret crush, it got me thinking about, all these people that are going to probably, more than likely, fall into some illicit affairs because of this.
Oh yeah, it's gonna make some good future news stories for us.
I can't wait. I'm already chomping at the bit for those. So I thought today's game time we'd do a little celebrity and historical affairs edition.
Okay.
Some famous affairs in history, Edman.
Yes.
How you feel about your knowledge on this?
Oh, probably top notch.
You like the scandal, huh?
I like the scandals.
The drama
Buy
and scandal.
Inquirer every week.
Yeah. Those of you listening at home, we want your feedback on this in any of the segments we have. Again, that number 904-300-2475. Text us and let us know how you did or what you think about what we're talking about today. So we're going to kick this thing off. Question number 1 in our affairs game time segment. What 2004 and 2008 Democratic presidential hopeful said, "I am a sinner, but not a criminal," after he got caught in an extramarital affair with a former campaign worker?
Speaking of the Inquirer, that's got to be John Edwards there.
Yes, Edman. John Edwards is correct. A very, very big scandal at the time. He actually admitted to the affair, dismissed the claims that he had fathered a child with her, but then had to eventually fess up to that as well.
Oh, he did. I don't remember that part.
And all the while, his wife Elizabeth was battling breast cancer.
Yeah.
While this was going on, she actually did end up passing away in December 2010 from that. So yeah, that was quite the big news story. I remember that when that came out. Can't believe that was over 10 years ago. That's crazy.
Right.
That's crazy. Anyways, Ed, 1 for 1 for you there. During her 9-month marriage to Joe DiMaggio, Marilyn Monroe began a relationship with this famous playwright who she would later marry in 1956.
Oh, that must have been the great playwright, that writer guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wrote. Was he a playwright?
He was.
He wrote books. And
he wrote
that.
The Crucible as well as Death of a Salesman.
Yes, those are some of my favorites there.
Yeah, I know how much you enjoy those.
It's some dude whose name I can't remember.
Yeah,
I'm so upset.
Yeah, man. I
don't know his name.
I thought you were going to get this one. This was Arthur Miller.
Of course, I was sure.
Yeah, Arthur Miller.
I would get that one.
And also, we know Marilyn Monroe was also rumored to have had affairs with both JFK and Bobby Kennedy, both Kennedy brothers. There were
good for her.
Affairs swirling around with her. She was a very, very attractive, desirable
nice
woman.
Lady.
You know what? She has a good quote for us, Ed. We talked about this in the long shot segment with the movie there. One of her famous quotes, "If you can make a woman laugh, you can make her do anything." That was a Marilyn Monroe quote.
Oh, man, we're in good shape.
Oh man, I love it. Man, I'm feeling myself tonight. I think I'm gonna buy some extra alcohol tonight. We're gonna see if I can't work my charms on some of these ladies here. All right, Ed, that's okay. You're still 1 for 2 so far. We're going to question number 3. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie began their relationship while working together on what 2005 romantic action comedy.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah, man. Did you ever see that?
I never saw it.
I saw it. It was actually very entertaining.
Really?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a good movie.
How was the chemistry between the two?
It was pretty good.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
I would expect it to be.
It was pretty good.
Just wondering.
Now, Angelina Jolie said they had never had sex during this time. They just became attracted to each other, started a relationship. He was married, of course, to Jennifer Aniston at this time when he began this movie. But yeah, she said she would never break up a marriage in that way, but I think the seed was already planted.
But in other ways, she would.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she did carry around a vial of Billy Bob's blood around her neck for a time when they were married.
Yeah.
So it seems like she's open to pretty much, a litany of things there. Okay, question number 4. In 2010, a media scandal arose for TV personality Jesse James. When it came to light, he was having multiple affairs while married to what Oscar-winning actress? Jesse James is on that show Monster Garage. He customizes motorcycles and things like that.
No idea about this
No
one.
clue,
No.
huh? That was the beautiful and talented Sandra Bullock.
Oh, yeah. Now I remember this one. Okay.
And again, I think this came out to like, he did not deny it. He said, in all fairness, I probably shouldn't even have been married.
Yeah.
He was one of those guys that he just knew he was a dog. He said, he goes, I had an affair, but guess what? So do millions of other guys. He just totally dismisses. She divorced him a month later. It was the quickest divorce in history. Yeah. Well, anyways, Ed, you're 1 on, 1 off, 1 on, 1 off. So you got 2 points so far. Moving on to question number 5. One of the biggest celebrity scandals of the 1950s saw singer and actor Eddie Fisher leave wife Debbie Reynolds for what often married actress?
Oh man. Oh, I know who this is. This is is it Elizabeth Taylor?
It is Elizabeth Taylor. Yeah, that was a big scandal back there in the 50s. Elizabeth Taylor married 8 times, twice to the same guy, Richard Burton. She actually ended up leaving Eddie Fisher for Richard Burton in a little twist of irony there. But yeah, Eddie Fisher saw his stock really go down. He was kind of a well-liked, kind of clean-cut actor and good boy.
Yeah.
And then this came to light, and it kind of turned a lot of fans off to him.
Oh, yeah. Well, you have an image of one thing.
Exactly.
And it turns out you're another
thing. That's why I've always heard this quote. I don't know if this is true. They say never meet your heroes. Never meet your icons, people you look up to, because
I've heard that.
You have that picture in your head, and then you meet them, they treat you like dirt, and then it's over.
Well, I think it's because people forget that when people are on screen, they're just acting. They're not. That's not actually them.
This is true. This is true. All right, man. 3. You got 3 points so far. Moving on to question 6. What actor turned politician saw his 25-year marriage to Maria Shriver end in 2011 after admitting to multiple affairs, including fathering a child with a housekeeper?
Terminator, the Governor, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes, indeed, Arnold.
Conan.
And also in 2011, actress Bridget Nielsen also claimed they had quite the affair in a memoir.
Brigitte.
Yeah, is it Brigitte or Bridget?
Brigitte.
She's a French actress,
Nielsen,
right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, she was a bombshell back in the day, wasn't she?
Back in the day.
Yeah. All right. Question number 7. On October 1st, 2009, what talk show host admitted on air to multiple affairs with female employees after a $2 million blackmail attempt?
Talk show. Oh, David Letterman.
It was David Letterman. Yeah,
that dirty dog.
Yeah. Yeah, he had been dating that girl that had never married her, but dated her for like 25 years.
Yeah, it was a lady that he used to have on some of the shows.
Yeah. And then like 6 months later, this came out. Yeah, and he didn't. He fessed up to it too. He said, "Yeah, I did. I did have sex with multiple female employees."
Oh, did he say he multiple?
Did. Yeah, multiple. And he admitted it, but he wanted to come out and get in front of this thing. And the guy who actually was behind the blackmail plot there, he was, I guess, a producer or something for the CBS show 48 Hours. And he ended up doing some jail time, not much though, maybe 6 months to a year, and then a bunch of probation and whatever. But yeah, Letterman probably thought, you know what, I'm not going to be bullied around by this. I'll just go out and admit it in front of everyone.
That's not very long for a blackmail threat. Yeah, I mean, if that had paid off for him, that would have been millions of dollars.
I know, man. I know.
It's not a deterrent.
Yeah, you just as predicted, Ed, you are doing correct on the morally corrupt quiz I've got
That's
here.
me.
Yeah, that a boy. Question number 8. After having an affair with her sister Mary, King Henry VIII then turned his attention to what future Queen of England? Yeah, a little historical affair for you.
King Henry VIII. Wasn't he married to Marie Antoinette? Am I completely off?
I think you're off, but I'm not sure. At the time of this affair, he was married to Catherine of Aragon, and then he had an affair with this young lady's sister Mary. Turned his attention towards her. She became Queen of England from 1533 to 1536.
Oh God, how many queens are there?
There was a lot
for but that I know. There's none.
Oh, there's only two. I think
Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah. No, it wasn't her. That's going to be Anne Boleyn.
She's old, but she's not that.
Anne Boleyn. You recognize the name Anne Boleyn? No.
I mean, somewhere in the fringes of memory, but I could have just watched a movie or something.
Question number 9. Boy, another Democratic presidential nominee hopeful here. What heavily favored 1988 Democratic presidential nominee saw his aspirations dashed after a photo surfaced of his mistress Donna Rice sitting on his lap?
1998.
1988.
1988. Yeah. That must have been Gary Hart.
It was Gary Hart. By all accounts, Gary Hart was going to win in a landslide that year.
Yes, he was. Everybody loved him. He was kicking butt.
He was kicking butt. He was
the Clinton of the
he was going to handily beat Dukakis, who went on to get the nomination. Then he was going to handily beat H.W. Bush, who ended up winning.
Yeah, because Dukakis had been leading the whole time, and then he lost it because he was kind of a dorky looking guy.
Yeah.
So
Gary Hart had the charisma, the looks.
Did not have those weaknesses.
Yeah. Somebody, whoever came up with those photos and that towel job.
Yeah. If Clinton won, then Gary Hart would have won. I think something happened. Like Gary Hart dared the press to find.
He did. He said, if you're gonna something to the effect, and I was reading this and I didn't write this, but he said something to the effect that if you guys are gonna spend your time tailing me, it's gonna be quite boring. You're gonna have quite a boring time or something like that.
Now, I would think that kind of daring the press to find a scandal in your life is something that somebody who's scandal free would do.
Well, that was a good strategy.
You wouldn't actually dare them to make that happen.
It did backfire on him, and of course he
couldn't put it off for like a couple of months.
I know, man. I know.
I mean, was it that tough to?
I don't know. I've never been in that position of having just fame and fortune and power, so I wouldn't know the temptations that come with that. I'm just a regular schmo with temptations of my own, and I just try to manage those, Ed, man. I mean, you don't know how many listeners try to contact me. I say, listen, we're keeping this professional. It's strictly a podcast listener relationship. I try to keep it that way. One more question.
I understand being if you're a podcaster, for instance, and you can't make your Wednesday show, for something, I can get that.
Yeah, man.
But being a presidential candidate, the stakes are a little higher.
Yeah, my stakes aren't that high. I said if we don't do it today, we'll do it tomorrow. If we don't do it the next day, we'll do it the next day. The listeners aren't leaving us.
Although I will say this, Terry said, and he told me this off air. Terry said that once this becomes a real deal, and I think we're getting close to that. Mm-hmm. Episode 50, we're clamping down.
We're going to announce it to the masses,
to the world.
Yeah.
Then there's a real deal. And to you listeners out there now, these are our young days.
Formative.
Right? That's right.
We're just learning to crawl. So then we'll learn to walk.
Know that you, our original fans, we're going to be so appreciative of you later on. Yep. I don't know what we're going to do for them.
We're going to make them some
Maybe we'll
cool
give them
T-shirts.
like $50 or something.
Yeah. Hey, that'd be all right. Well, I guess I do need that third job after all. Okay, I can work overnights. It's fine, Ed. They'll get a new show once a month. That's fine. Okay, question number 10, Ed Man. Let's see. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're gonna go for 7 on this one. This will be one of your best scores ever if you can nail it. And here it is, question number 10. While starring together in the 2000 action thriller Proof of Life, Meg Ryan began an affair with Oscar-winning actor, ending a 10-year marriage to Dennis Quaid.
Meg Ryan, who would she ever... Dennis Quaid. Well, I wouldn't even imagine her being with Dennis Quaid. But, Jack Nicholson?
Oh, that was a good guess, actually, but it was incorrect. It was Russell Crowe.
I mean, I'd have an affair with Russell Crowe back in the day.
That's a legit affair, right?
That one's all right.
That's not one you just...
sorry, Dennis. I like it.
Dennis Quaid's great, actually. I've seen him lately in those Esurance commercials, and he does a really good job on them. They're really funny.
He's a pro.
They're really funny commercials. I don't know what he's done movie-wise.
I haven't seen this. I'll have to watch them.
Yeah, they're really funny. You can catch them on YouTube. He does a great job with them. As far as good as you can do with a commercial spot, he does.
Now, was Dennis Quaid in Total Recall?
I don't believe that was Dennis Quaid. I believe that may have been Randy Quaid.
Quaid.
Was Randy Quaid in that?
So, wait, who had an affair?
Dennis Quaid, we were just talking about.
With Meg Ryan.
Yeah.
Well, I think I liked Randy better.
And Randy has had a lot of a harsh couple of years here. He's been in a lot of legal troubles.
Really? What's wrong?
Yeah.
What's going on?
I think he was involved in some drugs and some IRS fraud, and he had to serve some prison time. And
was he the voice for Wreck-It Ralph?
Oh, no, I do not believe he was the voice of Wreck-It Ralph. He may have been. I'd have to look that one up, but I don't know. I know that he was Uncle Eddie in the National Lampoon Vacation movies. He played the
that's right.
Uncle
That's right.
Eddie.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, then who the hell's Dennis Quaid?
Well, you're gonna have
to. What are we talking about?
You're gonna have to look for yourself, Edman. Well, Edman, another game time in the books for you. Not bad this time, buddy. 6 out of 10. I think that was pretty impressive for a Celebrity Affairs edition. Hopefully, the listeners at home might have had a little better success, but I'd take 6 out of 10 any day. That's a D. That's a solid D-.
And if any of you girls want to have an affair, you just let us know.
Edman, soliciting affairs over the podcast. This is a new approach.
It's better than Tinder.
What the heck? From
what I hear,
ladies are going to be swiping left on us. I can almost guarantee on that approach. But anyways, we're moving on to news thing number 2. News thing 2 today, Ed. We're going to be talking. I don't know how every month or two it seems like we have a Burger King related story here at the news.
I feel that way.
I can't
prove it, but
I don't mean it that way.
Like that's the case.
Something comes up that makes me want to talk about Burger King, and I never even eat Burger King, and that's the funny part. I'm not like a Burger King connoisseur. I feel like this is kind of an interesting story. Wanted to get your feedback on it. Well, as you may or may not know, it's Mental Health Month, where we recognize the challenges and try to eliminate the stigma surrounding mental health.
Probably should
issues.
Know that, but I didn't.
Yeah, now you do. Using the hashtag #FeelYourWay. Mental Health America is teaming up with Burger King, as I just mentioned. We have actually the commercial, the spot. I think it's like a minute and a half long spot that Burger King made in conjunction with Mental Health America. And we thought it'd be fun to kind of play it here in the studio so we could get our eyes on it and the listeners could get their ears on it.
All right. Well, then let's watch it together.
Sounds good.
All right. It's a guy sitting.
Not everybody wakes up
on his bed. He looks kind of forlorn.
Sometimes
a little bit.
Feels sad, scared, crappy.
You rhymed happy and crappy.
Yep.
All I ask is that you let me feel my way.
Okay, there's a girl at school. Somebody has written skank on her locker.
Kinda down. Can't wait to leave this closed-minded town.
And she's gonna leave town because of it.
My boss is such a freaking creep. I just told him to go.
She's angry. She threw a fistful of papers in the air.
She could have just left the banker's box if she was going to throw all the papers in
right?
there.
This is true.
Now she's singing.
They all are.
Feel my way.
Yep.
can't believe my student loan. I'm never moving out.
Well, you might get forgiveness on that.
Just got
Democrat
ghosted.
gets it.
Should have known. Pretty sure I'll end up alone.
They say I'm too young to raise my baby girl. Take your opinions and suck it, world.
Not a model mother there for the kids.
Boy,
Suck it, world.
Cover your ears, little one. Oh,
And then they're saying, hey, you know, maybe this should be the new theme song for the News Freaks. Let me feel my way, man. And she kicked her locker. I mean, this is why people are mad at her.
It says no one is happy all the time, and that's okay.
Blue meal, yes meal, piss meal, salty meal, DGAF meal. DGAF stands for don't give a fuck.
Correct, it does.
That's not.
I was going to censor that, Ed.
I mean, this is an entire corporation
Yeah, that was
endorsing.
That was the ad that Burger King and Mental Health America have come up with to kind of extend the conversation to the fast food world. The Before Stage 4 campaign, that's what this thing is called. It's meant to address mental health issues before reaching this critical Stage 4 point.
I feel that the makers of the commercial should get into this program.
Yeah, it was a little dark, wasn't it?
The inmates are running the asylum.
So this Stage 4 point, when it comes to mental illness, that's a high severity where symptoms include self-harm, suicide, and are at their most severe. So obviously they're trying to extend this conversation into the fast food world, but the way they did it, as you were reading at the end of that commercial, Edman, they've come out with 5 different color-coded box options based on what you might be feeling like that day.
So if they're promoting self-harm, I mean, that's a good way.
They're not promoting self-harm. They're trying to get people not to.
Well, why did that commercial make me want to hurt myself so badly then?
I think you looked at it in the wrong light there, Edman. I mean, granted.
I'm coming in tomorrow with a piss box.
Oh, man, Ed, we don't have to go that far. Anyways, 5 different...
Just let me feel my way, all right?
5 different cities are going to have a chance to get these different colored-coded box options at their local Burger King. Seattle, New York, L.A., Austin, and Miami. Is that where a lot of depressed people live?
Because of the taxes in those cities, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, maybe that's why they started there, and then they'll see if we can't get our hands on them. The meals are full-sized Whopper meals with a fry and a milkshake, so you might feel slightly better after that, or you might feel horrible. You know how sometimes those meals make you feel like crap afterwards. This might exasperate the problem.
Maybe.
So, anyways, as Ed was mentioning, the 5 meals have different colors and different names. The pissed meal, that's for when you're mad, obviously. That was the red box. The blue meal, well, that's sad, obviously. Salty meal, that's if you're bitter. All right. The yes meal, YAAAS. That's if you're excited. Now, that's not anything depressed. If you get the purple meal, you're pretty pumped.
True. I'm glad they spelled it right.
Yeah, that is correct. That is the correct spelling, actually. Yes. DGAF, as Ed so kindly put, that's the black one. That means that you are you've lost all hope. You do not give any beep.
Who was the announcer that would say yes? Yes, Marv Albert.
Marv Albert.
Yeah.
We should do a Marv Albert story one time with his scandals that he had in the 90s and 2000s.
No.
Why not?
I mean, yes.
Yeah, Marv Albert. I got to save that. I was going to mention it, but maybe I might run out of ideas and I might think, oh, I still have that Marv Albert one in my back pocket. So I'm not going to let the listeners know what Marv Albert actually did. They can Google that if they want. So anyways, there's someone, myself, who is at times...
Oh, you could have put that in the trivia game earlier.
Well, it's at Marv Albert. Yeah, I could have. Damn, missed opportunity. I didn't know. I didn't equate the yes with Marv Albert, but I should have. So as someone myself who was at times had my battles with anxiety and depression, Ed, I get it, I guess, but eating this meal I don't think is going to help. And the second part I have a problem with, you actually have to go into the Burger King and order the meal. If you order the blue one, I think they're going to contact the Mental Health America on you.
Get the suicide hotline.
Yeah, right? They might, yeah.
Shouldn't, I think that this idea started off by somebody's like, hey, we need to copy the Happy Meal.
It was, I think, their kind of take on that. This is the thing. They don't give a toy in this one. I didn't see mention of a toy, and I think that could have gone a long way to improving people's prospects if you got a little adult toy in there. And I'm not talking a sex toy, Ed, man. I see by your face you might have had a comment loaded up there.
I think that you caught yourself before anyone else did. I don't think you can put that on me.
Well, I mean, honestly, I don't think maybe
as soon as you said adult toy, your face changed.
Maybe an adult toy in a Whopper meal wouldn't be such a bad idea.
It really would be a happy meal, the happier meal.
You know, it doesn't have to be anything. You could just get those little bunny ears.
The happier than ever meal.
Man, that would be I think we could eradicate depression and anxiety. Possibly. There'll be cars lined up around the block to get one of these babies.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, I just thought that was kind of interesting. If you go into one of these Burger Kings and you get one of these meals, send us a shot here at the News Freaks. You can text us 904-300-2475 or drop us a line at mail@thenewsfreaks.com. Interested to see if this does improve your mood. And one last public service here. If you are having suicidal thoughts, of course, you can always call National Suicide Prevention Hotline, 1-800-273-8255. All right, Ed, man, off we go.
You know, they have the Burger King. I would like to see the costume for the Mental Health King.
What is a Mental Health King, you think?
I mean,
look like?
they've consulted with him, right?
He's wearing a disheveled, stained bathrobe. He's got his hair it's got a colic in the back for where he slept on the pillow for too many hours.
I feel like he looks a little bit like Sigmund Freud somehow.
You think so?
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe we got to go into the archives and see if there's such a character, and if not, we've got to draw one. Ed, you're skilled with the animation here. You can make one.
We might put one up on the website.
That would be good. So anyways, Ed, on to random facts for today. It is May 3rd. We got a lot going. There was a lot going on today on this day in history. We'll start right here at home in Jacksonville, Florida, 1901. Ed, you ever heard of this? The Great Fire of 1901.
I thought it was a Chicago fire.
Well, it's the third largest fire.
I mean, that's a pretty big fire. It came all the way down here to Jacksonville.
This Great Fire of 1901 here in Jacksonville, it's the third largest in U.S. history behind the Great Chicago Fire of 1871 and the 1906 San Francisco fire.
Oh, the third largest. So close to
getting
glory.
It done. Well, apparently we had been having a large drought down here. Sparks from a nearby chimney started a fire near the Cleveland Fiber Factory, which is on the corner of Beaver and Davis Street right here in Jacksonville.
I would think the Cleveland Fiber Factory would actually be in Cleveland.
No, it's not. It was spelled differently than the city. It was actually Cleaveland, Cleveland. That must have been somebody's last name, I'm guessing. Well, workers tried buckets of water because that always worked before. I guess they had some of these scares before and they could just douse it with a few buckets of water.
And they're like, just let it run for a second. I got to finish this fiber.
But soon the fire was out of control and it raged for more than 8 hours, Ed.
8 hours.
Yeah, the devastation was quick and swift. It destroyed more than 2,300 buildings, 146 of our city blocks. Left 10,000 residents homeless, and 7 people actually died in this blaze.
That's terrible. Could you imagine living across the street, maybe from where the fire ended, and you go, I gotta go put in my 8 hours of sleep. You wake up the next day, there's no neighbors anymore.
None. Governor William Jennings at the time, he declared martial law, which lasted a good 2 weeks. We returned to civil authority May 17th, so we were in quite of a mess here in Jacksonville for quite a while, but they did get it under control. I had never heard about this fire. I was very surprised.
Either.
Yeah, I did not know we had a historical United States fire here in Jacksonville. It seems like they don't. The fire service has come a long way though, because all these fires happened in the late 1800s and early 1900s.
Yeah.
So we don't have these widespread devastating
They're more
fires.
efficient now.
Although I did see before recording that Russian plane that had that horrible fire recently.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, they had a crash landing and 40 people died on this plane.
Wait, wasn't there a plane here in Jacksonville that
it slid off of the runway? Yeah.
When is that going to happen?
That I think is going to happen tomorrow. I went and saw one of the psychics here down on Cleveland, down on Beaver Street. She told me about it. Yeah, it slid right off the runway. They were coming from Guantanamo Bay, and they were bringing some military and civilian personnel back. It was nobody got hurt, although a couple pets did perish in that. Unfortunately,
that's sad.
Yeah, but all the people were safe, and I think they're gonna try to call it a miracle, but actually it was just the pilot misjudging where the runway might have ended.
A miracle? Why would they call it a miracle?
Because they were submerged in like a couple inches of water, and
that sounds like the opposite of a miracle.
It sounds like they were trying to make it the Sullenberger kind of situation, where that really was a miracle. Like he landed that baby right in the middle of the
you mean a miracle that everybody,
correct,
that most of the people survived.
Right.
Okay.
But I'm looking for, I mean, again, we don't know the whole story. We're going to wait 24 hours till it actually happens.
Yeah.
And then we'll be able to discuss more about it. 19, yeah, folks, this show is quite an interesting thing once in a while. Ed and I get struck by psychic flashes.
We've had a lot of interruptions this show, guys. I mean,
this show has had a lot of fits and starts, as we like to say. But
we're all right.
We're all right. And you guys hopefully are all right. Moving on to 1937.
Give me the Yas meal.
That's it. Ed wants the excited. Well, right in a couple more minutes, I'm going to go with the DGAF meal. 1937, Margaret Mitchell won a Pulitzer Prize for her well-known novel, Gone with the Wind.
That novel is well-known, but the movie is more well-known.
Yes, it is. A lot of people didn't know there was a novel.
In fact, I did not also know that there was a novel.
You didn't?
It's well-known because of the movie by
That's
default.
it, man. I'm changing it. I want the red meal, the pissed meal.
I thought it was a novel made from the movie. I thought it was one of those Star Wars books or something.
Incorrect, Ed. Moving on, 1960, on this date in history, May 3rd, the off-Broadway comedy The Fantastics makes its debut in New York City's Greenwich Village, running for a total of 42 years. And that came to a total of 17,162 performances until its final curtain in 2002, making it the world's longest-running musical.
That is a long time. Now, I could be wrong about this because I don't know theater, I don't understand the terms, but aren't most plays off-Broadway?
I believe off-Broadway are the ones that are in like the side alleys in New York, but the ones that are actually on Broadway have to be on the street titled Broadway.
But I mean, if that's the default, why would we say that all the time?
I don't know, man. I think maybe
would it be more effective to point out when a play is on Broadway?
I think this podcast is probably off Broadway. We probably got two offs in there. We're probably running on some back alleys somewhere. But listen, they say in New York, if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. And this play actually did. I didn't know what this Fantastics was about. I, again, am not a big theater guy, just like you.
I don't know if that's true, because Clinton was senator of New York.
And, give me the DGAF meal again. I'm going over to Berg. I'm going to make where's the closest city? I guess Austin would be the closest to us out of the five. I can go to Austin and grab myself one of those color-coded meals. So anyways, this Fantastics is it's an allegory where two fathers trick their children into falling in love by pretending to feud with each other. Does that sound interesting?
It does.
I mean, I think it would be okay. I don't know if they made this into a movie or not that we could check out. But anyways, The Fantastics. I never even had heard of it. This random fact segment for me was just filled with stuff I had no concept of.
They're always very interesting.
Yeah. Well, last but not least, we're going to close out this random fact segment today with a happy 84th birthday to Ron Popeil.
Yay! Oh, it's Ron Popeil.
You like Ron Popeil,
yeah, I do
right?
like him.
His company was Ronco. They unfortunately went defunct just last year, but we will fondly remember his infomercials and inventions and catchphrases since the 1950s, such as "Set it and forget it."
Set and forget it.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, that was him?
That was Ron Popeil.
That's huge.
That's huge. So some of our listeners may have never heard of this guy. We're going to tell you a little bit about what he did and some of the inventions that he had. Those infomercials were great. He'd have like the live studio audience that was like very excited for this product.
Right.
They were really pumped up. They'd come up. They'd get to try some of the food that he made.
I'd kill for an audience like that.
Yeah, me too. If I could have two people just sit here for 20 minutes while we did this, that would be great. So anyways, I'll give you some of these. These are going to be a trip down memory lane for you, Edman. He was responsible for the Chop-O-Matic canned food processor.
Yeah, Chop-O-Matic.
He called it the greatest kitchen appliance ever made.
At the time.
All your onions chopped to perfection without shedding a single tear. You remember that, right?
I love it.
How about GLH number 9? That was great looking hair in a can.
It took him 8 tries to get it right.
Yeah, the first 8, it made you just look like you painted your head. But this one actually gave you great looking hair. Spray that baby on and you were good to go. He also had the Veg-O-Matic and the Dial-O-Matic. Slice a tomato so thin it only has one side, Ed.
Those are all big inventions.
Big. Inside the shell egg scrambler. Did you ever use that one?
No, I didn't.
Scramble
but I
that
should
egg
have.
right inside the shell. You don't even have to crack that baby. The Ronco Pocket Fisherman. I remember this one. It was a little tiny, small fishing bowl.
I remember
1995, and you could go fishing anywhere.
I remember the Pocket Fisherman.
The giant dehydrator and beef jerky machine.
Oh man, that was a great one.
Yeah, that was a good one. The electric pasta maker, also a good one. I guess his biggest one, though, would have to be the Showtime rotisserie and barbecue. He sold over 8 million units of these in the U.S. alone.
Man, he is responsible for so much money changing hands and so many inventions. He's so influential.
One more.
And the advertising. To say nothing of copywriting.
I know. One more, he had the solid flavor injector. You took that gun and you shoved it in a piece of meat and you could pop whatever you wanted in that baby.
You know, there's something about it that always kind of put me off.
Me too. It kind of grossed me out. It was like this needle and you could see him shooting like cheese inside of a full ham or a chicken, a raw chicken. And I was like, well, I mean, sure, it tastes delicious.
But it stopped me from ever doing drugs.
Yeah. Oh, hard drugs. That's good. Now, Ed, we've talked about him on the show before. Comedian Gallagher. He may have taken his Sledge-O-Matic from the Ron Popeil line of products there. And also, Weird Al wrote a song called Mr. Popeil at one point or another. And Ron Popeil actually used it in many of his infomercials and was a huge fan of the song and really enjoyed it. I believe, this is kind of weird, and I don't know, I haven't listened to it, I should take a listen to it, but Weird Al actually wrote it about Ron Popeil's dad, not about Ron Popeil himself.
Was Ron Popeil also his dad also?
I'm guessing maybe, but I'm going to have to investigate further. I didn't really look into it.
Weird Al's dad was a musician too, right?
Was he really?
Yeah.
What did he call himself? Do you remember?
He played the accordion. I think he called himself Al. I don't know. Mr. Yankovic.
Strange Al.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so strange. Please call me Weird Al.
Weird Al,
Mr.
the
Yankovic
elder.
was my dad.
Yeah.
Well, folks, that is going to wrap us up for a very disjointed but spirited edition of the News Freaks. We hope everybody enjoyed it. Hope everybody's on their way to a great weekend here. We know we are. We know we're going to have a great weekend.
I'm sure it's going to be interrupted again and again and again.
Well, anyways, folks, as we like to often remind you, please give us your feedback on the show. Anything you would like to tell us, we would love to hear it. 904-300-2475. You can hit us up on the text line. You can also get in touch with us, mal@thenewsfreaks.com. Catch us on Facebook, The News Freaks, or on Twitter at NewsFreaksPod, Spotify, Stitcher, Player FM, and guess what, Edman? I didn't want to tell you. I was going to save it for a surprise, but we are just maybe within a week or so of iTunes.
A week?
Yeah.
They gotta around the corner.
They gotta get back to me. They said they're doing a background check on me first. They want to make sure I'm not on any Corey checklists or anything.
Well, it might be more than a week.
Yeah, we could be looking at a few. I don't want to build up the freaks here. But anyways, guys, have a good time this weekend. Be good.
For the News Freaks, I'm the Edman.
And I'm Terry. See ya!